Hello, everyone. Good morning. This week, we begin reading a new book in the Torah. It's named Bamidbar, which means desert or wilderness. And this isn't surprising considering that the Israelites had been wandering in the desert for decades at this point, as they marched ever closer to the promised land. As they prepare to reach their destination, the Torah pauses in this Torah portion, Bamidbar, to take a census of the able-bodied men in each tribe. That census is why we call this the Book of Numbers in English. We learn that there are 603,550 capable men who can bear arms. When we factor in women and children and men who are unable to bear arms, this amounts to a population of over 2 million people. This number is outrageously large for its time and place. Can you imagine the population of Houston taking a 40-year-long hike through the desert? The desert couldn't sustain that population. We also know that Moses had gathered the entire Jewish community, but could he have done that to speak to 2 million people at once? The Torah itself contradicts this large number, as it describes the Israelites as the smallest of the nations in Deuteronomy. Some rabbis explain that the number was meant to be metaphorical, or perhaps there was a scribal error that persists in our Torah scroll. Others grow skepticism for the text, wondering what it can teach us with numbers as inaccurate as these. But what if the text isn't mistaken at all? What if we are misunderstanding it? In Numbers 121, we learn that the tribe of Reuben had Shisha v'arba'im elef v'chamesh ma'ot, or 46,500 arms-bearing men. Gunther Cloud points out that even though 46,500 is how we would interpret these words in modern Hebrew, it may have meant something different thousands of years ago. He explains, the key to the puzzle may well lie in the Hebrew word elef, which here and elsewhere is translated as thousand, the meaning that it has in contemporary usage. But it is possible that in earlier days, elef did not have such a precise numerical value. It is likely that elef referred not to a number, but to a group of people. When the text says 46,500, it may not mean 46,500 at all. Instead, it means 46 units, adding up to 500 people. When understood this way, the Israelite army was approximately made up of 5,550 people, which more closely reflects the size of a typical army in those days. In highlighting this misunderstanding, Rabbi Plout points out how easy it is to jump to conclusions. We can read a word with absolute certainty that we know what it means not only to us, but to others as well. But if we pause to ask questions and explore how others understand what has been said, we find a clarity that could not otherwise have been gleaned. Jewish scholars have debated the meaning of these verses for centuries. As it turns out, the answer may have been present all along. Rabbi Plout and our Torah, by extension, inspire us to approach challenges and questions with curiosity, to question our assumptions, and to listen to the wisdom of those around us, even from those who lived so many years ago. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to seeing you for Shabbat services this evening at 7 p.m. and as Sam Allen becomes a bar mitzvah tomorrow at 4 p.m. Shabbat Shalom.